I never took like sports or anything in
Yeah.
high school. I did some soccer growing up, and I was actually really curious about this answer or this question. How do sports help a student grow and learn? What's the importance of sports?
Well, I think it's there's so many things to that answer. For some young people, that's their reason to go to school. That's their they don't the they show up because there's a football team. They show up because there's a basketball team or the band, whatever it is, and then so initially maybe they don't take their education quite as serious, but through that sport, and hey, I've got to be at a certain level academically to continue in this activity,
Hmm.
and they're until they mature a little bit more, and now all of a sudden they understand the importance of that. Maybe there's a scholarship involved, or it's a career involved in it, and they start seeing the value much more as they get a little older. And then just the most sports or activities, I know our band works many hours. There's some difficulty to it, and we don't have another opportunity for young people to find out, are they mentally tough enough to handle the challenges that'll come in life. I don't want them to go to combat. I don't want them
Yeah.
to fight in wars, but to go and wake up on a hot August day when the majority of their friends are still in bed or going to the pool, and they've got to go put on equipment and run up and down a field and lift weights, and run the risk of being embarrassed on a Friday night or a game night, for
Hmm.
things going wrong or their team losing, and they go out and they have to commit themselves to their teammates, and a lot of them have never had to be depended on. I think that's one of the biggest things in all those activities is that there's someone depending on me. And for a
Mm.
young person, that's the first time they've ever been depended on.
Yeah.
That someone is, for us to be successful, you've got to do your job. Nobody really cares how you feel. You've got to do it regardless. And I think as we get older,
And if you
because
fail,
yes,
everyone
and if
knows
you
it.
fail, everybody fails. And those guys, and you let somebody down, and because you're going to get to a point in your life where there's spouses and babies and jobs, and things don't go quite as smooth as you imagine they would. And you
Yeah.
come home to a crying baby. And I tell ours, I said, at some point you're coming home to a crying baby and a crying wife, and you've had a terrible day at work, but you've got to be the one to fix it.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing we do every day when we show up at football. Hey, not all of them want to be there at that moment. There are things that happen that day. And I think a lot of it too is they go through a day of school. They've been with friends. They've been with a lot of different people. Something's happened during that day. And now they got to come to football and do that job and forget about the things
Hmm.
during that 2 hour period
Yeah.
and go and do a job and forget about the other worries and then go back to that thing later.
So it sounds like it's sort of teaching young people the ability to self-discipline,
Yeah.
to sacrifice in the now for reward in the future,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Well, I think you're sacrificing for in all those things. You're sacrificing and committing to something that's unknown. The future of it's unknown.
mhm,
We started yesterday with our off season workouts. Well, our season won't start till August 19th, and it's an unknown. We may not win a game. We may win all of them.
yeah,
Maybe somewhere in between. Things could go wrong. There could be an injuries. There could be a lot of things could happen, but and we may not even get to that time. And but they're having to sacrifice for something that's very unknown, and it's going to take a lot of work to. It takes a lot of work to get to the start of it. Takes double that amount of work to get to the end of it.
mm,
So there's a lot of work involved, and a lot of things have to go your way, and some of you have to make it go your way. And I
yeah,
think they learn how to do that.
yeah.